Hi and welcome back to Serenity Cove Crafts. My name is Linda, and today I've decided to make this adorable little Autumn Pumpkin Gnome. Look at that, isn't he sweet? He's about 8 inches tall and about 7 inches wide. So cute. Autumn is my favorite time of year, so I'm just kind of ushering it in, if I will. Now with this guy, what I did is I used my 48-pin Sentro knitting machine, and I used that for the hat and the pumpkin base. Now you go ahead and use any 48-pin machine you have. You can go ahead and use your Addi 46-pin, and then for the little nose I used my 22-pin Addi machine. And you're going to need some stuffing. I'll just go over quickly the colors that I used. For the hat, I used Lion Brand Pound of Love. And this particular color is Sugar Cookie. I wanted it to look sort of like a straw, like a scarecrow straw hat kind of color. So a taupe linen type color. Right? And for the pumpkin, I used, oh goodness, okay, my Sentro machine is very finicky, and for the most part, it does not accept loops and threads yarn from Michaels, but it will accept this soft and shiny, most of the colors in the soft and shiny line, and it's a acrylic number 4 worsted weight yarn. And this color that I have is called Cadmium Orange. And it's a nice rusty orange color. Okay. So with this size ball skein, I was able to actually do 2 pumpkins. And Michaels had been clearing this out last winter for, I don't know, around $3 a ball. So I gave it a try and my machine likes it. Now also, one more color here for the nose. I used Lion Brand. There's a theme here. My Sentro machine loves Lion Brand Pound of Love. So this one is called Pink Quartz, and it's a flesh, like a pinkish flesh, peachy toned color yarn. All right. Now, aside from that, just going to put this aside. You're going to need some stuffing. I'm using polyfill fiber stuffing here. I love this stuff. Now, you'll also need to take a trip to your local thrift store or dollar store. I'm here in Canada. Dollarama is one of the stores that we have here. And they actually have a better quality of leaves. I got some maple leaves on picks. See, I'm in Canada, so I'm Canadian. We have to go with the maple leaf. Right? Okay. These are really good. These are actually pretty good quality. Now, I also sauntered through my local Dollar Tree, and they're putting their stuff out. Now, here are their autumn leaves. See what I mean? They don't look as nice, but they'll work perfectly fine for this project. Work with what you have. Dollar Tree also had these little acorns. Kind of squishing them. I think they're foam. It might be foam. So we'll see how they take to my hot glue gun. And some little pumpkins. I may or may not use them. They're foam as well. So I may have a melting foam catastrophe on my hands. We'll have to wait and see. See how brave I get. But this one I only did the leaves because that's all that I had the day that I made this. This is my prototype here. All right. Okay, without further ado, we are going to get started. Now, if you want to knit all of your pieces, go ahead and do that first. So with this burnt orange, this cadmium orange, I knit on my 48-pin Sentro. I knit 90 rows. I cast off, right? Now, with this one, this is actually, it's a thicker yarn than this soft and shiny. This, I did the same thing. I knit 90 rows on my 48 pin and cast off. And then on my 22 pin, I knit 14 rows for the nose and cast off. So that's it. It's pretty simple as far as pieces. Okay, what we'll do first is we'll just get the hat out of the way. I'm just cinching one end tight here. And if I were making a beanie or something that a child's going to play with, I would close it off by picking up all the stitches at the end and then sewing it closed. But this is just going to be a display item. So I am going to skip that part. I'm just going to go ahead and tie this. I'm only just going to tie it the one time because we'll be tying it to the other end. Now if you're making this for a child, go ahead, tie it a couple of times, and then once you join your ends on the inside, tie it, tie a good solid knot. I'm just going to cut some of this off. And we're actually, what are we, August 10th today. So getting through summer. It's been a really hot one here in southern Ontario in Canada. So I'm actually looking forward to the cooler weather. My poor body doesn't enjoy the heat too much, but that's okay. That's okay. When it's hot, we're not shoveling, so not shoveling the snow. Okay, so I've just kind of quickly tied the ends. I'm going to double my work. Insert one end into the other. Right. And we're going to take the outside end. Just going to insert it through the middle here. It won't be hard because I kind of only tied it the one time. And then you want to have the needle come out the center on the inside. Let me just zoom in a bit. Now, if you're enjoying my tutorials, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit like. Leave me a comment. I love reading my comments. Unless you're going to send me hate comments about me not enjoying the heat. I don't. Oh, goodness. Okay, I'll read those ones too. But so the inside, see what I mean? I'm tying the inside really well. Now, normally I would hide the tail ends in between the work, but I'm going to be stuffing the hat. So I'm just leaving the tail ends here and the piece that I cut off. And I'm just going to put this aside for now. All right, so I'm going to do this orange. I'm going to do this a little differently. Hang on, let me pull my end out here. And normally, this is the way I cinch and close off my ends. I do them separately and then I join them in the middle. But with this pumpkin, when I made my first pumpkin, I realized that I had trouble getting through the loops and threads stuffing that I was using, and I couldn't get through the stuffing. So now I'm using my polyfill, the good stuffing, and I'm going to leave a tiny bit of a hole at the end so that I can get through with the needle. Okay, so what I've done is I've just lightly cinched both ends here. I'm just going to insert, I'm not tying it off, I'm going to insert one end into the other. Now this is the way a lot of people cinch and close their tubes. I don't usually do it this way. I am right now because I wanted to have a little bit of a hole at the opening here for my needle to go through in a bit. Right. Just, okay, so I'm just going to tie this off. So I'm not making it too tight at the bottom. I want to be able to get through with the needle when we're making the segments in the pumpkin. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and put your tail ends on the inside. We're taking a little bit more of this orange. I'm going to take a little more than I think that I would need. I'm doubling it. We're going to be making a drawstring on the end here. Right. Okay, so go ahead and thread your yarn through the needle. And to do the drawstring, the way I do it, you can see here, I just kind of go in, I pick up 2 of the stitches, and then I go over the 3rd. Pick up 2, go over the 3rd. Just kind of keep going like that. I have a slightly longer needle, so I don't have to stop as often. I can just keep picking them up. Okay, so then when you're pulling your yarn through, make sure that you leave some of the tail end here, or you'll have to start over. I just mentioned that because I've done that several times. It happens. We're all human. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to continue all the way around, oopsie, all the way around till I get back here, and then I will be back to show you the next steps. All right, I'm almost done here. When I come to the end, I grab the last 3. Right, so we'll go ahead and then just try to straighten these out so that they're even on both ends. See that? Okay, so now I have all this stuffing. I know it looks like a dog toy. It exploded here. So we're going to stuff this quite well. I'm just going to pull this other guy down. Just so I have him beside me and I try to duplicate my results here. Yes, this is such a better stuffing to use. Okay, I think that's going to do it. You'll still need stuffing for the hat, so don't put it too far away. Right, so, let's see here. Oh, that is, yes. This is a very hard stuffing, and this is nice and airy. It's like floating on a cloud. Right, so we're going to take our ends here. Go ahead, tie. Okay. So you see, you'll end up having a little bit of a hole. That is absolutely what we want, and it's fine. We will be putting the hat on over top and sewing the hat on, so this won't be any sort of eyesore. You can always sew it up later if you want as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm just going to cut, the folded end where we doubled. I'm just going to slice that open. We may or may not need it. Okay, just grab one of these strands. This is why you want it to keep it long. so that we can use them to sew over to the pumpkin here. Right. So I think we're just going to go right through the middle here. And we are going to come out the middle underneath. Okay. So then what we do, just going to find a row here. Just go up that one line. Just pick one. Okay. And then now we're going to go through the top of the pumpkin again, through the bottom. We're going to come out on the other side, and watch closely here. You see, that's how we make these little segments, the bumps. Okay. Now, I'm just kind of going directly across here. Go ahead. Kind of pick. That looks pretty good. Just kind of picking a line to follow here. And once I'm over here now, I'm just going to tie this to one. It's not long enough to continue with, so I'm just going to put nice and tight here, and I'm tying it to one of these end pieces. Right. Go ahead, tie it a couple of times. Right. So I'm just going to hide this tail end. I'm just sticking this in there. It's stuffing. There we go. I just cut it off so that it's not in the way and it doesn't confuse me when I'm working. Okay, so now I am going to go directly across this way. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to come out the bottom. Just want to make sure it's nice and straight here. Move it over a bit. There we go. I'm going to go back through the middle, come out underneath, and we're going to be going right over here. We're going right across the opposite end. Okay. And this may actually be long enough to go around one more time. Give this a try here. So now we're going to be splitting these in half. So you're doing the same thing. Come over here. I'm just hoping and praying this is long enough to go through. Take it off the needle now. Go midway up. There we go. And pull it. Tuck it over here, hide the end. Okay, so now I'm going to continue going around this side. Now, honestly, it doesn't matter if you decide to go across, like from the top, under, and going up. I was just doing it this way. So kind of going through the top and up through the bottom. It's the same thing. I just do things backwards sometimes. I just... go. Okay. We got this. So now I am going to go through again. I'm going to come out over here. See, it's slowly taking shape. Just tie this off. When you're tying it, pull, pull. I'll hide this end in a minute. Okay, I only have, let's see, one section left. That's this one. Just gonna go in through the middle. Up through the top. Okay, let's go ahead and tie this nice and tight. There. Fiddle with it, smush it around. All right. Hopefully that didn't look too hard to you. So see, we pulled it off. This one actually turned out a lot better than this one. It's the stuffing. It's the quality of stuffing. Okay, so what we're going to do now, it's time to do the nose. At the nose, we're just doing the same thing. We're going to be cinching both ends. So how are you doing these days? I hope life is treating you well and challenges aren't too crippling. There again, this isn't going to be a toy to be played with, so I'm just knotting it the one time. And let's see, put one end inside the other, so we're doubling our work, even though it's small. Actually, I'm going to use this end as the outside. Go ahead and thread your yarn. Same thing we did with the hat. Go ahead and feed it through the middle. Come out the other end here in the middle. Okay, so we're going to tie this off. And at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just picking the longer cord or yarn tail. The rest I'm not going to worry about because we're going to be stuffing the nose as well. So I'm not going to bother hiding the end. So we're going to go ahead and create a drawstring the same way we did for the pumpkin. We're going to go around the edge of the nose here. See, I pick up two, skip over one, pick up 2 or 1. Personally, I like to knit up my pieces ahead of time so that it's just assembly work once you've got the pieces knit. Now, I hope that you join me. My next project is going to be a snowman. We are going to build a snowman. So, come back. I'm not putting my knitting supplies away because I already have the idea. The sketch is drawn out. My creative juices are flowing once again. I'm going to take a little bit of stuffing. We don't need a lot. Put a little more. We're going to go ahead and tie this off. So save your yarn tails, the parts that you clip off. Always use them for stuffing in another project. Okay. I'm just going to hide these tail ends in the middle. Just kind of come out somewhere. Okay. So now you're going to decide which part you want to use for the outside of the nose. Let's see. I think this one, I'll go like that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab the pumpkin here. I'm just going to fluff him up so that he gets a little taller here. Okay. You want a decent amount because we're going to be sewing the nose onto the pumpkin. Let's see. Should do it. Now, if you have stitch markers at this point, if you find it easier, you can always go ahead and secure, example, decide where you want it, and then just kind of hold it with your stitch markers. Sorry, I use these yarn needles as stitch markers, but I'm just eyeballing it. Now, the way I did this one is I wanted the nose to be in the middle of one of these segments as opposed to on the crack. Figured it would be easier to sew on this surface here. So there we go. And you're going to sew it towards the top. Okay, see about like that. See that? Okay. So go ahead and thread this same color yarn. And I will use this end here. Just kind of holding it in place with my thumb and my fingers. And so I keep glancing up at the camera, ensuring that I'm not hugging my work to my chest and that you can see me. Okay. What we're going to do is just do a basic stitch, like a mattress stitching here. So I just grabbed, trying to keep it towards the top. I grabbed a couple stitches from the pink, and I'm just going to grab just a couple from the pumpkin. And as you're going along, just adjust. Just want to keep checking. Just make sure that you're following the course you've set for yourself. Okay. Right. And just keep going like so. Oh, I lost my place for a second. Now you're just going to continue until you get all the way around back to this end. Now what I like to do is, as I'm going along, I just kind of pull at it. Just kind of pulling at that mattress stitch. Right. Right. So I'm going to keep going around, and I will be back when I've reached this end. All right, so I'm back over here where I started. All right. Now we're just going to tie this off. Go ahead and pull your yarn just to smooth out your stitches. Okay, and at this point, I'm going to tie it off. Now we want to hide these tail ends. It's up to you. You can either hide them in the pumpkin or in the nose. I think I'll go for the nose. There we go. Kind of looks like a clown's nose right now. Okay. Excuse me. Now we get the hat. The hat. All right, for the hat, I'm going to go ahead and add some stuffing. And go ahead, if you have any tail ends, toss them in. Let's grab a little more. Get it as smooth as you'd like it. Okay, now we're just going to see if I need to add any more stuffing. So we're going to want the hat. Oh yes, I will need more stuffing right here. But what I will do is add the stuffing when I'm almost done sewing it closed. We'll leave a little hole so that we can add more stuffing. Okay. So I'm going to take some more of this color yarn. Actually, I might add a little bit of stuffing now. There we go. Okay, so just grab a decent length piece of this this sugar cookie color, and we're just going to sew the hat to the head. So what I did with the other one is I wanted to ensure that the hat went around the nose at the top and tugged it down, and it covered part of the pumpkin like so. Whoops. This soft and shiny yarn. It's pretty slippery. Oh look, and I just pulled my yarn out. Okay. Now at this point, I actually am going to use some tools here just to mark where I want the hat to be. Now, I have a lot of these. I purchased some on Temu. I did find yesterday at our Dollar Tree, they have a 6-pack of purple colored ones for, yeah, I'm in Canada, so it's $1.50. So that's something to check out if you want more needles. Okay. See, so it's kind of holding it in, and then I will be sewing along. All right. I am just going to start right over here. I'm actually going to pick some from here because I want to ensure, I'm going to grab some on the nose actually. I want to ensure that the hat goes over the nose. And the way I'm going to be sewing it is I won't be sewing the end here. Sorry. I'm going to be sewing down here. So maybe about an inch on the inside. See that? So I'm just going to grab a couple of stitches here from the nose. Just going to hide this tail end. Trying to keep it out of my way. Okay. And I'm going to flip this. And see, I'm just grabbing a little ways down. And I'm only going through the one layer. See, this is doubled, but I'm just going through the one layer. Right. And I am pulling it as I go along. You don't need any fancy stitching here. I mean, you can just go in and out if you find that easier, because this will be on the inside of the hat, so it won't be visible. So go ahead and do whatever you find is easiest. So for you, let's see here. I want this to go down the nose a little more. I'm trying to stay along the same distance here. I'm trying to be conscientious about that. But I do stray off course times. There we go. Okay. So now you're doing it the same way, even though we have these little bumps. Just gonna go ahead and grab some from the pumpkin and continue on your hat. So I'm going to do the rest of this off camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew around. And then when I get to about here, I'm just going to stop and I'll be back with you because I'm going to add some more stuffing in here. So just work your way around. Give yourself an inch and a half, 2 inches here so we can add more stuffing. And I will be right back. All right, so I'm around this way. I've left myself a little bit of a hole. Okay, so at this point, it kind of looks like Yosemite Sam to me. Let's go. Okay, so what do you think? I think I'm going to add, let's go ahead and try adding a little more. If I don't like it, I can reverse course and undo it. It's all good. Let's see. There we go. See, I wanted his hat to look a little wider than taller. Like this one over here. See, his hat's kind of not tall. So I wanted this guy to have a little smushier hat. There. Think of that. Okay. I think I like it that way. Okay. So I'm just going to make my way around. And you know what, honey? This is your project. Go ahead, do what you want. If you want a tall, thin hat, go ahead and do that. If you want real big, hefty hat, you do that too. Same thing with the pumpkin. Go ahead. Do what works for you. So my rotator cuff tears in both of my shoulders have been really bothering me for the it's intense. So I unfortunately haven't been able to do as much as I've wanted to do. But I refuse to let my shoulders dictate what kind of life I'm going to have. So I do continue plugging along, working on my projects. Right. Okay. I think, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. Just go ahead and tie it off. And go ahead and hide these tail ends. I'm going to hide it in the hat. There we go. How's that? How do you like that? Okay, so now I have to play with these lovely autumn themed acorns and Canadian maple leaf. Okay. Now, like I said, these are made of foam. So I may be making a horrible mistake, but that's okay. We'll find out. I've got my glue gun heating up. One thing to remember when you're using the glue gun, one, safety first. Be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself. Two, show a little restraint, it's a little bit of self-control when it comes to applying the amount of glue that you apply. I tend to go overboard. Hopefully you're more cautious than I am. And you just, less is more. So let's just see here if we've heated up. All right. So now I'm just going to figure out where I want to put the leaves. I do want to have a red one on the hat. Let's see, right around here. Just gonna sort of fold it. Now, if yours have, like these had the little metal picks on them, could have easily just inserted them with the picks and then hide the metal pieces inside the hat. But I'm a sucker for glue burns, so we'll go ahead and do it this way. Okay, let's go ahead. There we go. A little bit of glue. And put the leaves on. Now, as far as the acorns, I'm going to apply the glue first and then add acorns. Let's go ahead and put a little here and put a little here. Sorry, I've got a heavy-duty glue gun here that reaches insane temperatures. It's easy to hurt myself. Okay, let's see. Hopefully these foam acorns aren't melting. Just hold it a bit. And, you know, do whatever you'd like. If you've got sunflowers, a nice sunflower I think would be really would look awesome. It doesn't look too bad. Okay. Take some over here. I'm going to put some over here. Little batch over here. And try to spread them out. I'll put some more here. And then just make sure that you pick off your glue strand cobwebs here. Okay. Now I think I'm going to put another one over here. Go. Just turning my glue gun off here. Okay. That's it for a little bit. I think I want one more acorn on this side. Right about here. All right, just let that dry. Hot glue does set quite quickly. Now, if you didn't want to, you know, add all of this, go ahead, just do whatever you want, hon. Just leave it off. Leave it plain if you want. Put a little black crow on the hat. There we go. There he is. And there's my first one. See, my first one, I didn't have all these extra fun things, so I doubled up on the leaves. But you can also do that here. If you want to cover the whole part of the beanie, you can go ahead and throw some leaves up here. Yeah, see, this is what I meant. This one has the little wire picks on them. So I'll put that right here. And I chose to go without using these. I didn't want to have them poking through. There we go. And I will toss one more acorn up here. Here we go. He's all ready. Now these, I believe, would probably be do quite well at your fall, your harvest craft fairs. Look at that. Oh, he's so cute. I love him so much. Well, my friends, our journey has now once again come to an end. And I enjoyed my time with you. I hope you enjoyed spending this time with me, taking a little time out of your crazy day. Bring a little bit of sanity, be creative, and come back and look for my snowman. That will be the next one. And until next time, my friends, take care and be well.